And I think we're good to go, Holly. It looks like it's kind of mellowed out.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Excuse me. Thank you for joining us for this webinar. I want to introduce the team at Agency Revolution. Cliff Snyder, who's the VP of Marketing. Ali, I'm sorry, Baldari, I hope I didn't botch your last name, who's the product manager that's really going to show you accelerate this marketing platform that we have had for a couple of years. Ali Reed, also from Agency Revolution, and our marketing manager, Haley Furland, is with us as well. What we really wanted to do in this 3-part series in partnership with Agency Revolution is show you how to put your email and social marketing campaign and how to utilize the tool Accelerate effectively. I think this is something that we didn't quite roll out when we first kicked off Accelerate. We really want to be able to show you how it's best to use the tool. So with that being said, I will hand it off to Cliff, who is going to start with email and social marketing for the independent agents.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Holly, for having us.
Of course.
So Haley and Holly have been my BFFs leading up to this thing. And I really, truly hope that you're going to learn something today. And I know that the terrible software exec is speaking to you, and I promise we'll walk a fine line between talking about software, but really what we're here to talk about is marketing your agency. And I am a marketer through and through, about 25 years in sales and marketing, everything from tiny little founder-led startups where, you know, the owner's wife is doing all the accounting, all the way up through working for IBM's Watson customer engagement team and being on the forefront of modern AI selling into enterprise. I run marketing for Agency Revolution, and I see myself first and foremost as a publisher and an ally to you. So my job is really to provide value and content and to help you market your agency in a way that's not, you know, it's not about fear. It's not about pushing people into things they're uncomfortable with. It's about supporting people and having their back and being the right kind of ally along the way. So the team here, you know, I've shared a little bit about myself, but as we move into this next slide, we've also got a fabulous, wonderful person here. I'll work with any strong, wonderful woman on the Agency Revolution team as long as their name starts with Ali. And in addition to Alina Reed, we've also got Ali Baldari here from our product team. Ali, can you say hi and anything you want to share as we kick off?
I can say hi, yes, not a baby today. Sorry to disappoint. Here is a grown woman as a product manager, eager to show you, connect the dots between some of the best practices that Cliff is going to be talking about today and how you can implement them with your tools.
All right, wonderful. So trucking right along. As we get into our topics today, guys, this session is not about how to write the best email or social post. This session is about why you should. And it's about building an operational plan that makes it very easy to execute. And it's about having the right software to back you up to take all of your wonderful thinking and execute on that in the real world. So why should you care? Well, according to Litmus, there's a whole heckin' bunch of ROI around email. According to Radicati down here, huge addressable market, right? Everybody, even grandma, is on email. So your entire addressable market is going to be there. And, you know, according to this McKinsey study, there's actually, you know, really great conversion within email. You know, this is how people digest content. And you've got to really think about what I consider to be kind of micro engagements, right? So it's not necessarily, did this person read my email and and then buy a policy that day. It's did they engage with my email? Did they then follow me on social? Did they then read the next thing or the next thing, and did that progress a journey somewhere? So with that, we're going to talk a little bit next about why we should consider social, because that's a part of this too. So here, and this, a lot of this is industry specific, folks, right? So according to Hootsuite, 92% of insurance companies have acquired new customers through their social media, right? Now, some of this is bigger, it's carrier stuff, right? It could be network or association stuff, but this applies at the agent level. Insurance agents and brokers, most of them are using this stuff, right? So, you know, if you're seeking to engage with a modern consumer, if you're thinking about your plans for perpetuation of your business, and you want to, you know, a modern business to move along or to sell, this type of digital engagement's a really important part to really make a part of your DNA. So, and you're going to have better lead to close rates here, according to HubSpot as well. So social sometimes can feel like, you know, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I struggle with that running a marketing department. But I'll tell you, if it's something that you can set some basic goals around, and you know, I don't want to say check a box, right? But it really should start there, right? It's like a workout plan, right? If you want to run a marathon, you're not going to go out and run a marathon. You walk for a quarter mile, then you're going to walk for a mile, then you're going to jog for a half mile, right? So that's what this session's all about today. So on to the next. When we talk about what makes up good social content, obviously we've got to have a little bit of sizzle on the front end, a great subject line, a good leading line in a social post. Really, we just want to provide value. You know, don't think about, gosh, what is easy for me to do and to kind of phone in around email or social. Think about the folks that you talk to. Give them a name. Right? If you just got off the phone with Nancy talking about her homeowner's policy and she asked you a question, think about Nancy, right? Write to Nancy. And if you are delivering content that's valuable to the real humans, the real relationships that do business with you, because all this digital technology does not change the fact that selling insurance is about the relationship at the end of the day. It's just a matter of integrating the relationship and the technology in a way that's actually going to provide value for your policyholders. So moving on, we're not going to focus on quality of content and how to write. I've got a few more slides in here. Should be easy to read and understand. Some of these are leave behinds for you. We want to focus today on the operational aspect. So moving to the next. This is the nut of what I'm going to deliver to you guys, okay? When you've got some marketing consultant or some tech vendor coming to you and saying, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z. It's easy. Here's a novel of content, right? Here's War and Peace on marketing and technology. We're not going to do that today, right? This is that workout buddy approach. This is your couch to 5K, okay? So this is all about making it easy, digestible, and measurable to do digital marketing in your business. So we're going to talk a little bit about timing and frequency. We're going to talk about segmenting up emails into different types to make this digestible. You don't want to look at this and say, oh, Lord, I need to send 10 emails a month. No, you need to send 1 newsletter a month and 2 of this and 1 of this every quarter and whatever, right? So we're going to break that out. I'm even going to provide you with some really, really low level samples of plans and KPIs at the end of this session. So moving on beyond the calendar. We're going to also talk about content by type. This doesn't need to be hard, folks. I've got some, really basic things we're going to look at. This, can be a mix of sales and service. This can be a mix of human interest, right? Did somebody in your office have a baby? Well, guess what? Some of your policy holders, they want to have that relationship with you. Did Nancy ask that question about her homeowner's policy last week and you shared a nugget with her over the phone and Nancy said, oh my gosh, thank you. That actually really helps me. And you know what? It's going to allow me to save a little money on this policy, or it's going to allow me to avoid being underinsured, right? If Nancy cares about that real life human connection, then you can use that as digital content, right? So just look around you at where you're engaging in meaningful ways and find ways to translate that into your digital world. So moving on from content by type, we're going to be jumping into some software soon. Here are some basic examples. If you want to get started this afternoon on email and social marketing, take these three. How often do you want to deliver testimonial requests? Do you want to send a monthly newsletter? What might cross-selling look like? Can we get some segmentation out of our AMS that says these folks have this policy? These folks have policies that are under 12 months. What are other meaningful cross-selling tactics we can do based on CRM or agency management segmentation? So moving on from there. This is part of a leave behind. This could be an example of some newsletter content. And I think I've got one more slide here. This could be an example of ways to do a testimonial request. We've also, guys, got templates for some of this stuff, which Allie is going to get into here. So if you've done some of these basics already and you're looking to graduate, or if you're looking to build a long-term plan that says, I'm going to use the basics, and then maybe after 90 days, I'm going to get into some advanced topics. The next two slides are going to give you an idea of that. So we've got advanced email marketing around onboarding your policyholders, lead nurturing, account review. If we move on to the next slide, we've got a concept here around how to graduate folks up through a lead funnel and, you know, really get into some interesting ways to progress and improve your win rate. So I've said gobs and gobs and gobs in just the first 13 minutes, but I want to pass the baton over here to Allie Baldari. She's our product manager on the call. She's part of the team that actually creates this stuff. She's in your instance impersonating an Assure Alliance agent right now. And she's gonna, you know, speak to some of these things I've mentioned, how they manifest in the software and how you can execute them today.
Beautiful. Thank you, Cliff.
Yep.
All right, so here I am. I am logged in as an Assure Alliance user right now. I want to walk you through what it looks like to use our email and social tools, starting from scratch. And then, of course, starting from your content library, where we've got some great starting points for email content, social content, even things like greeting cards and some web content that's available to add to things like your newsletters. So first, diving into email. One of the first things that I would recommend you do here in your tool set is navigate to email, edit email design. And this is your setting up your email template. This is the email template that all of the emails that you send from your account, this template will be used on those emails. So all of the emails are branded, they're all consistent. So make sure that you've got a logo in here, or maybe even a custom banner image that can go across the top of all of your emails. And then you're also choosing the color for your headline and button section. So anytime you've got a button like a CTA in your email, this is the color that'll be used. Anytime there's a headline, this is the color that will be used. So here you're making sure, again, that your emails are branded and will be consistent. You can always, when you're setting up your email design, you can preview exactly what an email would look like with your colors and your logo. And then, of course, we've got an email signature that will appear at the bottom of all of your emails. And the content of this email signature will come from your profile contact information section, as well as your portrait image. So make sure that you go in and you've filled out your profile section. Even the social media links that you add here, those will populate in your email signature so that you can drive folks towards, once they receive an email from you, you can drive folks towards your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube. So you've set up your email template. You've imported contacts, which is something we will cover later. So let's act as though for now you've added some contacts. So you've got some folks to send an email to, and now you're ready to send an email. You would navigate to email, send email, and this is how you can start an email from scratch. I'll cover in a few minutes. You don't always have to start from scratch, but you always can. So here you can throw in your subject line. Maybe you're looking for a testimonial or a referral. Here's your subject. And then building the email itself is really easy. You're adding sections to the email. By default, we'll always have this greeting section in here so that all of your email recipients will be greeted by first name. So your emails are personalized to each recipient. And then click to add a section. So you click to add a section and we've got a text section. I've got a placeholder text section in here already. And then here's that headline section I had pointed out in the email template, and that button section as well. So that's building the basic contents of the email. You can also, of course, always add an image, nice eye-catching. I'd also point you towards this widget section. There's some cool stuff in here. Featured and multi-content, this will really help if you're building a newsletter. So say you're building a newsletter, I believe May was a Disability Insurance Awareness Month. So you might want to come in here. This is your searching through your library of web content. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this piece of content to feature in my email. I've got an image on the left, a blurb on the right, and I can click through to view the content. I'm going to click to preview the email. Here's what my email looks like so far. And here is that piece of web content I pulled in, posted again on a branded landing page. Here's the logo I've added to my account. And down here, I've got kind of a version of that email signature we had seen. So again, this is my building a newsletter that is driving traffic to my branded landing page. And you can add a few of these to your email. I'll just add one more for a quick visual. So you can build a really eye-catching email with these kinds of widgets here. Let me preview one more time for us. So here again is that headline section. Here's another piece of content that I'm featuring that again will drive traffic to this branded landing page. And then here are those two multi-content sections, nice side-by-side sections. So even if you're starting an email from scratch, we've got great content that's really easy to pull into the email. One other email section that I really want to point out, this is relatively new. Myself and my team helped build this. I'm excited about it. We've got a video section. Maybe you did something like hosted a webinar and you've got a recording of it that you want to share. Add a video section. Click to upload a video. You're uploading your video. You can even choose exactly which frame in the video you want to use as your thumbnail. So it doesn't have to be an awkward moment of your face or anything like that. So here I'm choosing the frame that I want to use as my thumbnail. And then this video is being uploaded to and will be hosted on, again, my branded landing page. So this is a great way to share video content, which is only more and more popular and more engaging.
And Allie, I love that, because anything that helps us avoid an awkward moment of my face is going to be valuable.
Agreed. So that is building an email from scratch. Now, when you go to schedule the email, again, we'll cover your contacts shortly, but you've got a choice to send to all of your contacts, to one or several groups, or even to an individual. Cliff, you were using a conversation with someone like Nancy as an example. Maybe you want to follow up with Nancy. Based on our conversation, I thought you might find these things interesting. You can build an email specifically to Nancy. And then you choose exactly when you want it to send. You can come in here and schedule many emails to send out in the future. You don't have to think about emails then for a few weeks. And then you're sending your email. Maybe the email that you've built is a template you want to use in the future. Maybe it's a great newsletter and you don't want to have to start from scratch next time. So you can build your email and at the same time save a copy of it to the library so that the next time you want to put together a monthly newsletter, you've got a great starting point. and they'll all look consistent. So it'll look a little professional if you start from a template.
Yeah, and that templating piece, I'll just be
Please.
Alex hype man here. Can I hype you?
Please, always.
So I love the way that ties into the slides that we just looked at, right, folks? Because again, this is my workout buddy approach. I'm your workout buddy. You know, I'm just here to make sure you get your 1 mile walk in the morning. Okay, that's all I'm trying to do. And part of that's by making it easy. We're going to use templates. So when we say at the end of this, right, that we're going to build a digital, marketing calendar, and we know we need to do certain things a certain number of times a month, we're just going to build them. We're going to save the emails. We're going to save the templates. We're going to save the landing pages. Everything that's a part of this plan gets templatized. And so as you rinse and repeat on this stuff, you're just going back to your work and modifying, and it makes it way easier. So carry on, Allie.
Thank you. I love it. So that was my sending an email and at the same time deciding to save it as a template. You can also, if you want to bang out some templates and don't have to worry about them in the future, navigate to email, create email template. And this is my building an email that I don't intend to send right away. So you can build a template, save it to the library, build your next, so that when you're ready, you've got these starting points ready to go. So that was my setting up my email template and starting an email from scratch, sending it, and even saving it as a template. Let me quickly cover social. So the first thing you got to do, you need to make sure that you've got at least a LinkedIn and or Facebook account integrated. So these are the social networks that are available to share your social content to. So social, manage social media, and this is easy. Just click to integrate LinkedIn, enter your credentials, and choose the pages that you want to integrate, and they'll be listed here. And then, just like starting an email from scratch, you go to send email. For social, post on social media. And here I've got a social post builder. You can easily add emojis, important on social, eye-catching. You can upload images, and even with images, you don't need to start from scratch. We've got a library of free stock photos that you can always search and find a really good looking photo. You don't have to worry about finding graphics on your own. So that's real easy. And then build your social post. And again, just like scheduling an email, you get to choose the networks you're posting to, and then you get to schedule either right away or in the future. Oh, and one other item I'll point out, forgive me, if you've got a Canva account, we have a Canva integration here, and Canva is a great tool. I think of it as Photoshop for dummies. I am one of those dummies. I wouldn't know what to do with Photoshop if it walked up and introduced itself. So I would use Canva. This is a free tool, a free account you can sign up for. And then you've got some really good looking, eye-catching graphics that I certainly could never make myself that you can use as great starting points. So if you've got a Canva account, click on this button, enter your credentials, or click on this button and you can start a free Canva account.
Hey, Allie, Allie, will you point out the browse the social post library?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
If you're like me, I don't like creating things from scratch.
I get it. I get it.
So the least I can do that I can automate, the better. So
Sure.
yeah.
So this is a library of content, and I'm going to open up our email builder as well, because we've got a similar option to browse our email library. So when you navigate to email, send email, or social, post on social media, you're starting from scratch, or you can click to access a library of hundreds of pre-written social posts that you can use as a starting point to customize yourself, or you can use exactly as is. So again, I believe this past month is Disability Insurance Awareness. So we've got some timely content in here. Search by keyword. You can preview some of the content from that window. And then again, select that content. It'll populate your social post scheduler. You can use it as is, or you can customize it to your heart's content. You can say, maybe I just really like this graphic that I don't have to worry about building myself, and you can write your own caption. And then similarly, I've got browse email library here in the email builder, where I can access not only the templates that I have saved, but the templates that have been published to the library as well, that are great starting points for emails.
Hey, Allie, quick
Yeah.
prompt for you, and
Please.
forgive me if you're going into this later on your own, but we talked a little bit in the first section about the notion of a publishing or content calendar for our digital marketing effort, right?
Sure.
So you had shared with us that there's the ability to schedule these posts and emails in the future. What if, what if I want to send, maybe a chain of messages
Sure.
related to a topic that's sequential? Or what if I wanted to build out maybe what I thought was my baby steps, right? And wanted to see that in kind of more of a like a list form or something that would give me a feel for like what I'm going to do next month.
You got it. You got it. So, two things I would point out: all of the content that you've scheduled to send in the next 2 weeks will always be visible here at the top of your admin in the marketing calendar. So here is an email I've got scheduled to send later today, a social post and an email in the following days. And then I've got an automation called Social Foundations that I will certainly be covering here. And I can see the content scheduled to go out as part of that automation. So I always have easy visibility into the content that's scheduled to go out in the next 2 weeks. I can also always navigate again under social, shared and scheduled. I can see all the content I have shared from my account, the content I have scheduled to go out in the future, as well as for email, my sent emails and some metrics on those emails, exactly who the emails were sent to and exactly who opened those emails. So that's visibility into your scheduled content calendar. Now, Cliff, you had mentioned sequence. So if I want to put together a sequence of emails, schedule one thing, and in reality, I'm scheduling multiple emails that'll go out on my selected cadence, I would point you towards your content library, the emails tab, and then you've got two types of content in here. You've got emails, just a single standalone email, or an email sequence. And this is a series of emails that you can send as is. This is the templated one, or edit to your heart's content. And then just like the standalone emails that we looked at a few minutes ago, when you go to schedule this, you've got the choice to save it as a template. So I really love the idea of building something like a new client sequence. This is a series of emails that I want to send to all of my new clients. Come in here, come into the library, find this templated sequence, which is meant for you to completely edit. You've got 2 emails in there now. You can add as many emails as you'd like, and you choose exactly the cadence, how many days in between each email. So build out what would be your ideal new client sequence, save it as a template, and then this thing is ready to go every time you've got a new client. Load their contact information in here, and then you can come in here, choose that new client to send to, and you're off. You're done. So that is building out an email sequence and saving that as a template.
Yeah, and folks, I know some of this in the software can feel a little overwhelming, even to me, right? And I'm a marketer by trade. So I want you to know that although we're rolling out a lot of information here in this session, this is a sequential thing that we're going to do together. I'm on the books with you for the next 2 months. So there's 3 sessions, and we're going to take some of what we learned today, and we're actually going to like workshop this in future sessions, right? So my BFF Haley and I will be talking to you about what we want to do with you between now and the next session, and we'll actually implement some of this in somebody's business. So don't let this make you feel underwater. But I also want to take us back to some marketing basics right now. And I want to share with you a few thoughts on tangibly how you execute this and kind of how you get your mind around this stuff. So I think there's a lot of big kind of, in the marketing world, what we might say, spray and pray, right? There's a lot of unsegmented work that you can do in digital marketing. But what really moves the needle, folks, is if we can make some simple segmentation, right? And here in a moment, when I pass the baton back to Allie, she'll show there are some options for CMS or some light AMS integration. For the most part, though, if you really want to get down into the weeds and be able to segment by anything, I would tell you to start with your CRM or your AMS first, wherever you can go right now and say, give me a list of all my new policyholders from the last 90 days. Give me a list of everybody who has a homeowners but doesn't have an auto. Give me a list of everybody who's over 35 and came to me from this specific competitor, right? So whatever segments matter to you, if you can get that list, right? If you can get that into a CSV, either because you've got a spreadsheet or you can export that from your AMS or CRM, if you can imagine it and you can get it in a spreadsheet, then voila, you can upload that into the system. Allie's going to show us how here in a bit. And you can grow and curate these segments over time, right? So if you say, I want a cross-sell segment, which is everybody with auto but no home, well, guess what? If you want to update that on occasion, you can import a new list and just tell it, hey, just augment what's already in there, right? So it's not going to be a bunch of messy duplication. It'll just be, a simple process, and it's super easy. If you've got a summer intern working for you, a high schooler could knock this out for you all day long. So moving on from content by audience and AMS segmentation, this gives you a little bit more as a leave behind to think about. So, start to think about how you can target within your business. Start to think, gosh, if somebody handed me a microphone, what would I want to say and to who? And so it doesn't need to be any harder than that. We've talked about content by type, and we've talked about segmentation by recipient, guys. So marketing, really, don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Don't let yourself, I am the king of imposter syndrome. Don't let yourself tell yourself that you can't do this. In fact, I'm going to give you my contact information at the end. And if you want to reach out to me, this is, we don't have 1,000 people on this call, guys, right? If you want to reach out to me and get a little free marketing consulting, I'm down. Okay. So you'll have that information, and really it's just, what do I want to say? Chunk it up by types. Who do I want to say it to? Chunk that up by types, okay? And then put it all together into a plan. So we'll move on from here. And we'll start to think, okay, I know who I want to talk to. I know what I want to say. I have already broken this down into easy digestible segments. Allie has shown me, or will show me in the future even more, on how to execute it in the software. So now we start to think about, what does good look like? And that's a question that I ask myself all the time in business. I love baselining, and I love deciding, what does good look like? And even if I'm not sure, just setting some goal for yourself is going to help you get through this, right? So we could look at things, website traffic, that falls out of our software, right? You'd want to look at, if you're using Google Analytics or some analytics solution, you may want to look at, am I driving more traffic? You may want to look at the calendar you built out, and be hard, keep yourself honest, right? Judge yourself. Right? I said I was going to send 3 emails this month and do 4 social posts. Did I? And we'll move on here from metrics into a little bit of sample goal setting here, guys. And look, this may seem really simple, but as a professional marketer, I'm going to set a hard boundary here. Do not look at this slide and say, this is basic, unless you're already operating at a level beyond this, okay? This is supposed to be basic. Start with easy goals. Copy and paste this stuff and make a plan by the end of the business week. If you tell yourself you need 30 days to make a digital marketing plan, and it's this overcomplicated, messy thing, it's not going to work. You're not going to adopt it, right? Baby steps, and then iterate as you go. So you could take this right off the page and say, we're going to do a monthly newsletter. We're going to do a data export out of our AMS every 30 days that shows renewals in the next 30 days. And we're going to automate content to those folks. Bi-monthly, we're going to do a cross-sell upsell. And so this gives us placeholders on a calendar, guys. And then we say, all right, we've got these 5 or 6 placeholders on a calendar. I'm now going to go to Allie's resource library, and I'm going to find what content is already there, ready to just pick up and run with. If I want to modify any of it, I can. And boom, you've got a plan. I'd much rather, there's a phrase I love, a business leader at IBM used to say this all the time, which is fail fast. And I really want to challenge you to adopt that today, guys. Perfect is the enemy of good. Get something out there for June. Do it, right? Take some baby steps in June. You know, talk to Holly and Haley about getting this tool so you can get onboarded. Save my contact information so you can say, hey, Cliff, does my marketing plan look silly? Or, hey, Cliff, how would you improve this marketing plan? I'll reply to you. And then execute something basic in June. That's my challenge to you today. So moving on from sample goals, along with our goals, we've got to say, well, what are we going to measure? Baseline. Oh my gosh, it's okay to not know what good looks like, guys. We don't have to know. I don't know. I don't know what a good conversion rate is for your business. And you know what? I'd be full out if I told you I did. So send your first few iterations of this stuff. Learn from the data, because guess what? Allie's fabulous software is going to show you your open rates, your unsubscribes, your click-throughs, all this basic stuff, right? This doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to get into analysis paralysis here. So you can look at some industry benchmarks. I've given you a few right here. These are cross-industry. This is not specific to an IA, but you know, around a 20% open rate, a 2 or 3% click-through rate, and you really want to keep your unsubscribes below a percentage. Now, a couple caveats here. When you first start your email marketing, okay, if you've not been doing a lot of it, or if you increase the volume, you're going to see that unsubscribe rate tick up a little bit, right? And you know what, guys, that's a good thing. It's good, right? I used to be in sales. Every no gets me closer to a yes. The same is true in selling insurance, and the same is true in digital marketing. If people, you know, opt out, self-select out, that's okay, right? They weren't here for that. You're going to engage with other folks, and this is a volume game, and you're going to win through volume. So these are some great examples here of things that, you know, we can use to evaluate if our plan is working. So with all that, we're getting close here. I'd say, Allie, and you tell me, and we're not ready for the big surprise yet. I know, it's okay. Pretend you didn't even see that. I'm a showman, guys. So is there anything in maybe 5 minutes or so, Allie, that you'd want to cover in software related to the goal setting and the stats and the calendaring and the stuff that I just shared? I know you covered a little bit of the calendaring already.
Sure. Well, really, I want to go back. I want to get back to something really nitty gritty and basic. You can't send an email until you've added contacts to your system. And Cliff, you had just touched on segmenting your contacts from your AMS. So I want to jump back to contacts, manage contacts. We do support some CRM integrations. However, I assume that you all will likely be managing your contacts in your AMS, building your segments in there, exporting something like a CSV. And then when you've exported your preferred contact list, say for a single email blast, or you've got a segment that you've built, you'll need to add this groups column to your CSV before import. And then throw the name of that segment into the column and import that CSV into your tool set, and they'll all be thrown into that group. So say these are all your homeowners, maybe who don't have an auto policy, they've got a home policy, no auto. Make sure that name is populated down here in this column, and then navigate here to contacts, import CSV, You can always download a sample file here if you want to know exactly how that CSV ought to be formatted, but we will walk you through mapping each column in your CSV to our contact fields. Import that list, and upon import, that group will be created if it wasn't already existing, and all of those contacts will be added to the group. Even if your CSV contains folks who, maybe you've got the opposite. Whatever you put in this groups column, and it could even be multiple. Let's see. You can add them to multiple groups. Just format your CSV with this groups column. And again, on import, they'll be added to the appropriate groups. And then we had already seen when you go to send an email, your contact groups will be an option to send to as your audience. So that's an easy way to export a CSV from your AMS, add that simple column to make sure they're added to the appropriate group here in your tool set. And then you've got your contact groups ready to send emails to. You can also, if you want to make some updates to your existing contacts that you've loaded in here, navigate again to contacts, manage contacts, and you can always export your existing contact group, or excuse me, your existing contacts, make your edits in that CSV, import, and your edits would be applied. So it's not as though if you need to make edits to your contacts, you need to search for each and manually edit. You can always do that in bulk through a CSV. And then if you do have a contact that you want to add manually, it's easy to do so. The only thing they really need is an email address, but we've got a few other fields in here that you can record as well. So that's managing your contacts, which again is pretty basic and pretty important if you want to send emails.
Yeah, this is really powerful, guys. So we've talked high level about building the marketing plan, that it doesn't need to be hard, that failing fast and doing something now is better than overthinking and waiting a quarter. We've shown that we do have the ability to create templates. We've shown that there's hundreds, 500 some odd social posts and gobs of email. There's hundreds of existing content pieces in the library. You can modify that and save them as your own templates. Ali has just shown us how we can segment through wherever our data lives and get that into the software here and manage it so that we're not doing a bunch of messy duplication. And I'm going to save a little bit of time here towards the end for some Q&A, but I've got a little bit of bonus content for you folks. So this session today is it's ostensibly about marketing software, but really it's about marketing your business. I'm a marketer, guys, and I'm a salesperson too, but at the end of the day, learning to market is more important than the tools. I'm not supposed to say that as a software guy. The tools are just there to allow you to do more with your time, right? But learning how to market matters. So a little bit of bonus content is some things that I use that are actually becoming woven in to a lot of Agency Revolution products. In fact, I suspect that you folks will see some of this impact you in the not terribly distant future. But right now there's an explosion going on in the world around using AI. And you've probably heard about ChatGPT. You've probably read blogs or seen webinars from Agency Revolution. If not, go out, hit up agencyrevolution.com and read what we've got to say about AI. But I'm using the heck out of this, guys. Here is me saying in words to an application called Midjourney, please create an image of an AI behind the curtain, like the man behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. And this is original art, okay? So you've got a whole content library from us. You've got the ability to upload and create your own content. And you could go out to Midjourney and start up a free account today and produce images that you want to use here. You could do this on your website, in your social post, in your email. Sky's the limit these days. And the reason that I used the Wizard of Oz here actually has a little bit of a deeper meaning if we could advance to the next slide. These are samples, and I know this is hard to read, guys. So again, take this as a leave behind, right? Haley's going to share the deck out with you. You can zoom in on this stuff or put on your readers, okay? And you can check this out. But what we've got here are 2 prompts that I gave to ChatGPT, free on the internet without entering credit card information. And, you know, guess what? I phoned in this presentation a little bit, guys. Some of my bullets came right out of a machine in about 30 seconds because I'm a busy dude and you are too, right? You've got clients to serve. You've got a wonderful experience to provide. You've got relationships to manage. So let the machines and let the tech do the easy stuff. And I see the question there that, you know, Midjourney, I think that question was what, to place that link. Is that right? So yeah, that's in the deck. And if you've got questions about using prompts with AI, I'm including the, you know, the link there in here. But, you know, if you want to trade tips and tricks with me, I'm down. I'm doing wonderful things. I've got 3 kids, ages 9, 11, and 15. Last weekend, we made a business plan for one to start a lawn mowing business. My daughter loves to do art, and she creates these characters. Well, guess what? I'm taking her drawings now and she's describing those characters to me and we're making art, right? So you can do things in your personal life that are a whole lot of fun, and you can make your work life a lot easier. So that's kind of bonus content today. And look for more of this AI technology. We've got a very high level strategic alliance with the folks at ChatGPT. And some of this, you know, you're going to see right in your software too. So let's move on down here. I think to our last slide. All right. So I've said this a couple times. Let's hang out. Here's my email. You want a marketing buddy? Drop me a line. Shoot me your plan. Right. I'll give you everything I can, and I'll try to be your ally and have your back. If it's a matter of how to use the software, I'll try to get you the right resources. If it's a matter of a little marketing thought leadership, I'll give you what I can, right? And I promise I won't even send an invoice, okay? So with that, we're only 10 here till the top of the hour. You know, I wonder if there are any questions, if anybody has any comments about how they've used any of this tech or how they've marketed their own agency that would be valuable to the rest of us. You know, Haley, Holly, do you guys want to open things up, or how do you generally like to do this part of the session?
Either or, yeah. Is there a raise hand feature maybe? You're on mute, Haley.
No hands are raised right now. We've had quite a bit of chat come in, right? I gave my email in chat, and it's here on this slide. And we had some questions about Midjourney, which I see is posted up. You know, Jamie's talking about some follow-up calls. You know, a next step here, guys, is going to be some instructions that I'll, you know, push out through Haley and Holly, challenging you to do some of this work in your own business. And I've still got to circle my wagons with the team, but for our next session in June, here in about 4 weeks, I'd really love an ambitious volunteer. They don't have to be on this call. It could be somebody who looks at this recording, but somebody who wants to kind of workshop with us on implementing some of this stuff in the next session. But with all that said, if you've got questions now, post them in chat or find a way to communicate with us right now.
Yeah, if you guys have if you have any questions you want to ask, just raise your hand and I can unmute you as well. And just a reminder, I'm also a resource for you guys, of course, you know, over at Assure Alliance. So if you ever have questions or application of any of these things, please let me know. And Ben, I will allow you to talk.
Hey, this whole Accelerate thing is the first time I'm hearing about it. Is this in the SIAA, Assure Alliance portal, or how do you access this? Did I miss that?
So it's not. So in the follow-up email, I will send I'll send you our little mini site, and right on there, there's a place if you're interested and you can fill it out and that kickstarts the process. And then Alina and I will reach out to you. And that's kind of how that works. It's in our newsletter every month, but we're just trying to, a lot of people don't know about it. So we're trying to freshen it up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Benjamin, as you get going with this stuff too, if you need anything on getting your sea legs right, just let me know, okay?
Okay, great. And then Agency Revolution, y'all bought out Ford's 3, correct? That was the merger?
Yes, sir. Yes, we did acquire the team over there, and we kept everybody. This was not an acquisition and a gutting or anything, right? So they're still making some wonderful technology, and Agency Revolution has a pretty broad set of tools for an independent agent. Our focus here today really is on this particular platform and Accelerate. But yeah, we are the same Agency Revolution that sells directly into the space.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And then
Any-
Ed was
Oh.
just wondering if there is a refresher course on how to best use Agency Revolution basic operations. Is that available? You guys can go.
Yeah. So I'll translate a bit. I don't mean to put words in your mouth, Ed, but I assume we're talking about the Accelerate platform here that's available through your partnership with Assure Alliance. And correct me if I'm wrong, Allie. I don't believe there's a true like documented learning asset for this particular branded product. But I would say that our next 2 sessions are really going to serve a lot of that role. And we do have a great support team, that can help you with using it as well.
Absolutely agreed. And we do have a knowledge base as well that can be really handy.
And Ed, we did create, I'll probably go back and refresh, but we did create kind of really more the step-by-step videos, like how to import the CSV, and how to sync your social media accounts. They need to probably be a bit redone because we had already synced our social media account. So to go back and do them. So what we will promise is that we will create those kind of how to get your contacts in, create your contact information, sync your social media, and create your email template. Those will be some things that we'll do just a video for each topic and have those to you before the 22nd session. So that way you can go ahead if you haven't already done those things so that you're, ready to go for the next session.
Thanks, Holly. The person that was handling this for us at our agency left. And so I'm kind of start back at square one. And so I need to kind of get a refresher course.
Gotcha. We can help with that.
Yeah, stick with us, Ed, throughout this series. You'll get a lot out of it. And Holly and Haley, gosh, guys, you've got my support and any resources I can bring to bear on this. So whatever we can produce here to help folks out, I'll have your back. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. These are good questions. Any other questions about, how to access these tools that Assure Alliance is making available to you? Anything about, we talked a lot about calendaring and segmentation. Any basic marketing questions? There's no silly question.
I think we'll circle back with the participants specifically for this because several already have a login. It's just a matter of, I think, of pressure to use it. And those of the participants that don't will obviously send the link on how they can register.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Haley and Holly, anything else that you would like to accomplish in our time together today?
I think we covered it for this session. It was a lot. So
Yeah.
I think it was good.
Perfect.
It was a lot.
And I will be look in your inboxes when you get back from Memorial Day weekend. You should be getting something from me on the 30th with a wrap up, the deck, everything. Give you some time to digest it over the weekend, and then you should get that follow up. So, yeah.
Very good.
All right, guys.
Thank you,
Well,
Cliff and Allie and Alina. We appreciate this. This was a very productive session for sure.
Wonderful. And I'm
Absolutely. Thank you all.
grateful for all of you taking the time to be here. Your time's an investment, and relationships and time, those are both really important parts of your agency. So thanks for spending a little bit of it with us and building that relationship. Okay.
Of course.
Thank you and have a great day, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.